I mean, Rich was our family name, and somehow we got married. We got married off into a Bronson.
Right.
But the Rich family was the one that had the jewelry store in Chicago, and the Rich family was where my father was. And that's, even though his father was Bronson, he was born on one side of the family was
Right. It was a
and they had, and then the Chicago fire came in 81 or something, and my grandfather was just a baby, and and they were fairly well off people in Chicago. His nurse wheeled him in a buggy to get him away from the fire.
Right.
And I mean, he wasn't in any danger. I don't think everybody just basically went to Lake Michigan.
Right. Yeah.
Hell, this is all. If we stay here, we're not going to die.
Right. Yeah.
But eventually, then they lost their property. Evidently, not a good thing about being jewelers, you can grab the stuff and run.
Right.
So they evidently had enough assets that they set up in Galena.
Yeah.
And that's where my grandfather grew up.
So the Rich family were jewelers.
Jewelers.
And it was, your grandfather was he a twin or something?
No,
he said something about twins.
Yeah, I think he was. Oh yes, yeah. He was a twin, and that's another story. And his brother was born in a normal size, and my grandfather was actually small when he grew up. I mean, he was
a
short,
runt, right?
but he was kind of a runt. And the nurse, and the joke was this: some sort of German or Swedish nurses, and kind of grunted when they saw him. And this basically put him in a rag and set him over in the corner. They were going to take care of the other one that was going to live.
Yeah, right.
And that one did live.
Yeah.
But he died a year later or something, like, God knows what.
Right.
Some disease of.
Things that little kids died of.
Yeah, right. In those days, whooping cough or some darn thing. And then my father survived. My grandfather survived, but he had a kind of he was a bit of a snob is the wrong word, but he was a bit arrogant.
Okay. Yeah.
And we always had to be careful of not irritating him.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where I get it from. I got the A.
Maybe it's for Bob's.
It's like it's like you got an X and a Y chromosome and an A gene.
Yeah.
Well, if
anger gene.
if you
Arrogance gene.
If you think of, I'm saying Tommy reminds me a lot of my dad,
Yeah,
and Bobby does remind me of my grandfather. I mean,
The camera's rolling. We're just gonna let that stay.
Right.
I'm not editing that. No.
Actually, Tom looks most like Truman.
Well, he sounds like him and acts like him, and even weird. Nobody dragged Tommy into the real estate business. Not my father didn't influence you, even though he was around. But Kim and he decided to get in the real estate business, and it's the same old story all over again.
I remember closing my first big deal, and I thought, and somehow Grandpa came to my mind.
Yeah.
And I thought, boy, my grandfather would be proud of me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We closed one.
Yeah. Well, he got me to get in. I actually had a real estate broker's license.
You did,
but I died a virgin.
Okay, yeah.
I never actually did a deal. I did a couple deals where I bought things for myself. I bought that land over across the river that I made money on. But that was, but I just bought that. I don't think I had any advantage of being a real estate broker at all. I think.
Right, yeah.
And then I stopped doing it because remember, all of a sudden you had to take lessons and you had to come up every year. You had to go back for a class.
Oh, right, and you made it into a club.
Yeah. Well, I should have kept it up for you.
What land did you buy? I mean, where was it?
I bought Lake LeMay. Oh. If you went across, the reason I bought the land is they were going to take 35. There was some place that were going to cross the river there, and I ended up selling it to the Erickson Petroleum Company because they had it was like 16 acres. It was around this Lake LeMay, but there was part of it was right on this road where it was perfect for a filling station. Sold it to now I'm trying to think of, let's say Erickson Petroleum or whatever their trade thing was, and I made money on it. But my God, there's like 1,500 houses on the property now and all around this lake.
Right, yeah. That's one of those deals that are,
And I remember when we were down in Florida, that would have been 1950. We're looking at lake property, not lake, oceanfront property, somewhere's in the St. Petersburg area, that's where we're hanging out. And they said, oh, it's $20 a foot. Oh, no, that'll never go.
Yeah, right.
And you know who's gonna pay $20 for just 1 foot of oceanfront? You know, my God, you could be up to 20,000 before you know it, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I don't even remember that. I do remember you taking me out to view some